Okay, Coach Mike McConathy, we are here today talking about the Demon basketball team, both leading up to Wednesday's conference game at Nichols, but first recapping the conference opener Saturday at home against Texas State. Talk about what your team did well Saturday to win.
Well, Saturday we came out united, and we always talk about caring for one another, pulling for one another, loving one another, and it was quite evident that they were engaged and wanted each other to do well. They encouraged one another. They got plenty of energy going through that, but most importantly, they took their energy and used it in a positive manner, trying to create energy through getting steals. We had 8 steals, or created 8 turnovers off of our press, something that in one game in which we hadn't done in the last 4 games, we hadn't created any turnovers off our press, so that was very positive against a very good Texas State team.
What is working well for your team right now as far as defensive pressure, what your offensive game plan? What is your team doing very well right now?
Well, I just think that they're playing together, and I think that we can talk about building a game plan. We can go over the opponent's stuff, but if we're not playing together, it's really not going to matter. And I think that was a real lesson for us Saturday. Now we've got to be aware of what the other team is going to do, but I think it's important for us to understand that we got to be on the same page. All 13 guys, 12 guys, whatever guys that are out on the floor, that are dressed out, we need to be prepared and understand we've got to pull for each other and support one another.
All right, let's talk about Nichols and the challenges in going to Stouffer Gym Wednesday night.
Going to Stouffer Gym is a challenge simply because you're going to a different facility. And a lot of times players, coaches try to make out a deal, oh, it's a real tough place to go. Well, the goal's 10 foot high. And the biggest thing is mentally we've got to lock in that a year ago we lost to them in overtime in a very difficult situation to where we felt like that William was held at the end of the game, and the ball was thrown the length of the floor. He could have got it and should have been going to the free throw line to shoot a free throw to win a conference championship. We end up losing the game and end up coming up second in the league. So if that's not enough motivation to go down there and play, I don't know what is.
Okay, speaking of William, he is 3 block shots away from breaking into the career top 25 in NCAA history. Talk about that achievement.
It's phenomenal for a guy that came out of Huntington High School that was very much under-recruited. We saw something in him, and we're just thankful that he chose Northwestern. He's worked extremely hard. He's a joy to coach because he brings his lunch pail and comes to work every day. And we're just excited. I'm excited to see something good happen to someone that is a yeoman or a workman, because so many times in basketball it's all about flash and dash. And he's flash and dash when he blocks one on one end and he sprints to the other end, he makes a defensive play on the other end. Or dunks one rather, I should say, dunks one on one of the end, sprints back to the other end and makes a defensive play on the other. And he's done that numerous times. And I think sometimes our guys gets caught watching him because he makes the unordinary look ordinary. And but it's a joy to have him on our team. I think his leadership skills are really starting to come forward. He's starting to speak more on the floor, which when he speaks, they listen.
Talking with Will Mosley, the Demons senior center, recently graduated. First and foremost, Will, let's talk about that achievement. Graduating from college, it's something I know that you're very proud about.
Yes, I'm one of the first males in my family to actually graduate from college and to play college ball. So graduating is a big part of my life right now. It was very important with my family, and it's something that Coach Mike strives to get all the players to do sometime in life.
All right. You'll be taking classes this spring, but certainly now that you're through that major hurdle, you're focused on basketball. Tell us first and foremost about the team's performance Saturday in the win over Texas State.
The performance was just great, man. We came out, we had a mindset that was coming to pull for one another through the good and the bad, and that always helps us keep pushing when we do turn over the ball or miss a assignment, but it'll keep us going when we hear our teammates cheering for us.
Okay, from a perspective of basketball, what did you guys do better against Texas State than you have been doing?
Our defense was in the front court, full court. We had got a lot of turnovers. We put a lot of pressure on, caused them to turn the ball over, and I think we got a lot of steals off our full court press. We got like 8 steals, and that was a big key to the game.
All right, let's turn the corner a little bit. You had 5 blocks Saturday. You now are 3 away from breaking into the top 25 in NCAA career history. What does that mean to you?
Man, it means a lot to me. That's something I never even thought I would be at, to be number in top 25 in NCAA history in block shots. I would have never guessed it, but it's a great accomplishment, man. I'm just looking forward to finishing out, see how high I can really get.
All right. Do you kind of keep track of it during the game, or do you just let it flow and check the stat sheet after?
I never keep track of anything during the game. I just have to look when the game over. I want to win first and foremost, so I just look after the game at all the stats.
All right. The next game is Nichols on Wednesday down there in Thibodaux. Talk about what you guys need to do to win.
Well, for one, we got to come out like we did at the last game. We got to come out pulling for one another. We try to work on a few things that they go over. We know they like to set a lot of screens. So, it's tough playing Nichols because they run it so well, but we're going to come out in the defensive point and ready.
All right. Talk about where you think the team is right now.
Right now, I know we tournament ready. We got a few things to work on, so we can actually see that we're a championship team right now. It's just a few things we're getting together, but our chemistry is picking up like I like. Defensive pressure, that's going to be a big key. So.
All right. Will Mosley, thank you very much. All right. Jennifer Graf, your Lady Demon basketball team started the conference season Saturday with a very inspiring defeat, if there is such a thing, at Texas State. Talk about that game and how your team, shorthanded, was able to come from 14 down to take the lead in the last stages and nearly pull off a big upset on the road.
Well, obviously we're pretty disappointed to open up conference play with a loss, but if there anything to a moral victory, there was a lot of good things that we brought from the game for sure. The girls played extremely hard. We're down to 7 healthy players, and a lot of the 7 healthy, I use that word loosely, we're real banged up, and the effort that the girls gave from top to bottom, even the kids on the bench, they pull for each other. They want to do well for each other. And, we get down in the second half. We start missing some shots, and we get down. And it was the first time I really saw this team pull together as one unit and scrap and fight for each basket to work their way back into the ball game. And, we come from the deficit to take the lead, and then we miss some key free throws there at the end and give up a couple offensive boards. But there was a lot of positive things we pulled from the game. There was a lot of things we did really well, and we have to continue to do that and just learn from our mistakes.
What are keys for your team going forward out of that game? What did you learn that you're going to really emphasize and know?
Well, I think on the positive end, on the offensive end, we do a pretty good job in our sets. Obviously with low numbers, those players play a lot of minutes together, and so the chemistry that they have, they understand each other, and I think they understand shot selection, who needs to be taking shots, when and where. So I think on the offensive end, we're just going to continue to get a little bit better there. I think where we need a lot more work on is the defensive end. We obviously give up too many points. We average giving up 70, 71 points, and we did the same thing on Saturday. And so I think that we need to really buckle down and make sure that defensively, we're in the pass lanes more, and we're making sure that we're not giving up offensive boards. We're giving up too many offensive boards, too many second chances to teams, and that can't happen.
With 7 players available, how do you practice?
Coach Black comes in real handy sometimes. We do have a few that are sitting out that can't play right now, and so they are healthy bodies for us to be able to practice. Luckily I have a staff that is pretty young and are pretty good players, and so we have to jump out there sometimes. So my assistants do coaching and playing at times on the floor, and so that is kind of difficult. The other thing is practice has to be a little bit limited because I have 7 players, and I need to have them ready to go for Wednesday and Saturdays. And so the time that we are in the gym is very important. The girls have to remain focused, and I've seen that since the Christmas break of them understanding we got to get in the gym and get our work done and get back out so that we can be fresh for Wednesday.
What is this team's potential now with this personnel challenge and based on your extraordinary performance on Saturday?
Well, obviously it was so disheartening on Saturday. You know, you fight so hard and you take the lead and you really feel like you could have walked away with a victory, and we start conference 0-1. And like I told the kids, I mean, we have to have that effort every single night, and we have to take everything one game at a time. And you know, I think if we do that, we really focus on what we need to do for each game. We just go from there. We have a chance to be successful. There's no doubt about it. These kids see that. They see that we have it there. They have to understand the cards that we've been dealt and have to understand, you know, what we need to do with that and stay focused on it, take it one game at a time, and head into Nichols on Wednesday with a positive attitude.
All right, let's talk about that Nichols matchup and the challenges that you face with Lady Colonels.
You know, Nichols is a much improved team for sure. Coach Doobie does a great job with her personnel and what she does. They have three very talented players on their floor, and they're three top scorers. Average 15, 16 points a game for each one of them. So I think defensively we're going to really see if we've improved any over these next couple of games, because we really have to make sure that we keep those three kids under control, because any of the three could have a 30-point night on any given night. And so I think defensively is going to be a real big key for us.
And then being at home certainly is always a boost.
Yeah, we'd much rather stay at home in Natchitoches, Louisiana, than have to travel 6-7 hours away on conference games. That makes it tough. And you know, so we open up conference at home on Wednesday. The girls are excited about that. You start at school, you have students here, and so there's an excitement around basketball right now.
Beautiful.